it's never sunny in Duskvol. Okay, so let's begin at the game. We kind of fade in to a funeral going on at the Ecstasy, I guess, the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, and we're doing this in the Six Towers section of the city. So at this funeral, there's like a dirge kind of playing, imagine like sort of like the pipe organ sound, and we kind of hear a little bit of the priest or priestess giving a small little homily about the life of this older gentleman who recently passed away. This older gentleman was actually part of Asteyni's family, who kind of was a black sheep of the family, by the name of Asteyni. Actually, what was his name? To keep it in line with how you think your family's named, because like I was gonna go with the name, but then I realized I should probably ask you first.
Probably, let's go with Jean-Pierre Philippe Capet.
Okay. Did he go by JP?
No. I mean, maybe he did, and we didn't know about it because if he's a black sheep.
Yeah. Okay.
How actually related do you want to be? A cousin?
I wouldn't say like
three
like
generations.
No, he's
like a second cousin type thing?
Like second cousin once removed or whatever, like very, very out of the standard family tree. So we're looking at the funeral for Jean-Pierre.
Jean-Philippe.
Oh, Jean-Philippe.
Or was it Jean-Pierre Philippe? It was Jean-Pierre Philippe. I'm sorry. I got them all mixed up already.
We'll just call him Phil.
Yeah, old Philly. That's actually really funny.
Cousin
Philly.
Phil. Yeah,
our cousin Phil. So the priest kind of gives a. You can see that the actually I like the priestess. You can see the priestess giving an homily, and she's kind of straining about making it so Jean-Pierre Philippe was sort of a nice person, talking about how enthusiastic he always was about promising to pay off debts, how he was always around if you needed a drink at his bar. And how it's such a tragedy that he died in an explosion at a Duskvol brewery called what was it called? I had a name for it. I have to check my notes real quick. Oh yeah, it was called Lucy's, but it was spelled like Loosey, and it's like a gallows kind of thing. For like the bar, so like that's like the name of like the bottling and stuff, right? So at the Lucy's brewery is where they found him. Imagine a what do you call the thing that I can't remember the name. The pot, not a keg, but the actual giant
still.
Yeah, still. Thank you.
Yeah,
that just like exploded. A boiler or like a still just kind of exploded and took him out. You notice that the body, it's a closed casket. The body isn't there. It's pretty common for funerals in Duskvol because bodies can be, the ghosts and stuff like that of a body. So it was taken care of by the spirit wardens. But ultimately, this kind of goes through this homily. And what I wanted to ask you guys, you guys are all present for this funeral. And I wanted to get a quick little like idea. This is the first time the camera's going to see you guys. This is a funeral, so it's somewhat formal. You see other people kind of there. No one's really crying because no one really felt bad about this guy. Maybe you did, but they're all kind of there. There's some other people around, and you kind of get the feeling that most of the people here are wondering what the will and assets are and how they're getting divvied up. Okay, so maybe let's take a quick little like go in order, describe where you are in the pew and that kind of stuff, and sort of maybe what you're thinking about this guy. Okay, maybe even how you knew him at some point, and then we'll go from there. So let's start with Jewel.
Jewel is standing in the back because she's got Mr. Bubbles on her shoulder, and for propriety's sake, there's like a little like harness and leash, but she's not actually holding on to the end of the leash. If anybody pays attention, it's like tucked into the end of her pocket or something. She's
Does
wearing...
the camera swing by like a sign that says like explicitly no monkeys?
Yeah, not just no pets, like it's explicitly no monkeys, of course.
Yeah, the Ecstasy of the Flesh. After that one incident, the Church of the Ecstasy of Flesh is not allowed animals in the vicinity of the church. Just can't do it.
So
not allowed.
So, yeah. So she's standing in the back. She's wearing black pants, but that's normal for her. But her blouse is also black. And she got like a little tiny miniature hat, like with like a little black veil for Mr. Bubbles to wear.
Oh, the little monkey has a veil.
Yeah.
Oh, that's adorable.
And so she's standing in the back, like one hip up against the wall, just kind of observing. She doesn't look like she's crying, but like she already has spent her tears for this man. And so she's just waiting, and her eyes are on the crowd and not on the officiant. She's scoping out who else is here, trying to figure out what they want.
Okay. You notice that most of the people here are dressed in Acrosian. Is that the word? Asteyni?
Acrosian, I guess?
Yeah, Acrosian. Sort of the Acrosian imperial kind of style and garb. So very much like London, Victorian London stuff. So suit, top hat. Well, top hats are off because you're in church, right? Maybe even like their heavy jacket outside, because obviously it's dark and kind of drizzling outside, as normal in Duskvol. So it looks to be that they're kind of, maybe a lot of people are related here, which would kind of make sense. There's a couple other people that are clearly out. I guess they stick out. Most notably, there's a couple people that you probably know from the Charter Hall Bank are here. Looks to be like two very similar looking, maybe like almost twins, bald, bifocals, evenly suits. What do you call it? Like a briefcase near them, like maybe like an umbrella near them as well. They're probably like near like a coat rack or whatever. So like you see that stuff hanging up near them. They're kind of like leaning on the back on the other side of the wall of the church. Also around, there's no one from the Dagger Isles. However, there's a few people from the Iruvian consulate here. And other than that, just mostly like the Charter Hall Bank, a couple people from the Iruvian consulate. I don't think your drug dealer would be here, but you have the feeling, you have the weird feeling that they're nearby. So, or is that that's Vale's actually?
Vale's has a drug dealer.
So I'm sorry, you're Casta.
My bounty hunter. Casta.
Yeah, Casta's nearby.
I don't see her, but I just get that feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why am I angry? Right? You get that sense of that feeling of why I'm angry.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Okay. So next up would be Seer. So Paul, describe where you are in this funeral.
All right, so I'm probably like just sitting somewhere kind of in the middle on the right side. Maybe like immediately around me, they left like a little bit of extra space.
Sure. Wondering what
I
that
can
smell
have my
is.
hat down, but I'm looking around, and I have like my hat like in front of me, like on my lap, because I don't really know what to do with it, and I didn't put it on like there was like a coat rack and like a hat rack and stuff like that at the front, but I skipped it by accident. So I'm like have my hat in my hands and like don't know what to do with it, and like sometimes we have to stand and put it down, or we have to kneel, and the whole church thing, and the head gets in the way. But I'm looking at the just wondering why they're here. I'm not sitting with them. I'm like probably like on the other side, like they're on the left and I'm on the right.
Sure.
But I'm trying to figure out why they're here.
Okay. So you would know that Jean-Pierre Philippe had some dealings with Iruvian. Like he was like importing what do you call it? Some kind of special like wine, I guess would be the best kind of idea, or some sort of like special like olive oil kind of spice or sort of like cooking tool.
Sure.
You were never quite sure, but it showed up in
really
bottles.
Innocent.
Yeah. It certainly showed up in corked bottles.
All right. But you know, like they did business with him. Why would they come to their funeral still, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
yeah.
go to the funeral of all my business associates.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, but as you can see, it's going to be sort of like the reading of the last will kind of stuff here afterwards. So that's you get a feeling that's probably why they're here.
Are they like? Do they think they own Jean Philippe's? Like, did he owe them that much?
Yeah, they're trying to see what they get out of it.
About Jean-Pierre Philippe and his debts.
Yeah.
Because he was always talking about how much he owed everyone, but somehow it was never a problem. But also he never paid anyone.
Yeah.
It was very bizarre to me.
Yeah. He had one of those faces. He was really charming, but he never followed through with any of his promises, right? So he basically what do you call it? What do you pyramid schemed himself?
Yeah,
right.
Sure. But you know, I'm sad for his passing. He was as much as he charmed all his debtors and his collectors, he also charmed me, and he was like one of the first people that were like super nice to me because he's just nice to everyone.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
It just occurred to me. Was Jean Pierre Philippe, was he your mentor?
I would say no.
Okay.
Because that was back in Aruvia.
Oh, formaldehyde. Yeah, that's what you smell. Oh, yeah. Do you? Yeah. I just got the idea now that because you're a chemist, like your cologne is literally different chemicals. So it's like your normal smell is bleach, but you spruced up today, so you smell like formaldehyde. Sorry, it's really good.
It's really good.
All right, great. No, that's good. Okay, so it's not going to be him.
Yeah.
Sure. So what was your relation then to Jean-Pierre Philippe?
Well, I think since I arrived from Aruvia, he was the guy that gave me a chance, right?
Oh yeah, so you were a immigrant worker.
Like they have a consulate, but they're all like kind of guarded and close together, and I wanted to just come to all right, whatever
Akaros.
this place is, Akaros.
Yeah. Well, how do you pronounce it? How do Iruvians pronounce it?
Well, I try to be like local, so it's Akaros.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Instead of Akoros.
I'm trying to fit in. That's why I'm
you're
wearing
trying to fit in.
stupid suit, because everyone wears these stupid suits here.
Awesome. Okay.
Like it's very not traditional or typical for Iruvians to wear the suit like that.
No. It's you dress like an imperial would. Right?
Yeah.
You're wearing the Akrovian style rather than the native Aruvian style, whatever that is. That's up to you to describe. But thank you. Let's see what Jules doing. Or excuse me, Vale. I keep getting that mixed up.
So I picture Vale sitting in a pew, but like probably in the back and probably kind of towards the center aisle. Like, not necessarily that she was the last one there, but it's like this is obviously her making an appearance because she feels like she has to be here and she's planning on being one of the first people out the door type thing. She's wearing all black, very finely made, but very modest, like black gloves, no wrist skin showing all the way up to the neck. And then a black funeral mask with a lace veil that's like attached and going around the front.
Oh, so yeah, okay, yeah, one of those very like formal looking kind of funeral guards.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Probably looks a little. I have a question for Jewel. If we're comparing veils, who has the more fancy veil here, Mr. Bubbles or Jewel?
Oh, definitely it definitely is going to be Vale with the fanciest veil.
Okay.
Mr. Bubbles just has like a piece of like black crinoline, you know.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like half of the time, Jewel is just like pulling it back out of its mouth again.
He's like chewing on it all the time. Okay. Cool. I like that a lot. Okay. So I guess there will be a let me just look at the sheet here real quick. So I guess there would be someone from the city council would be here. It would be sort of like a magistrate, not the mayor obviously, but just some sort of like low on the totem pole, not public defender, but something of that like, who sort of has to deal with this being an estate lawyer. So it's not very particularly fun. But their name will be Polonia. And so Polonia comes up next to the stand after the homily goes, and she kind of has like this big like book open, and she brings out like this kind of scroll. Everyone's kind of quiet. It's coughing. You can hear the rain drizzling outside the sort of like stained glass windows, and I guess it's probably like hot and humid and stuffy, so the windows are open while it's raining. You know what I mean? Just to get some of the humidity. And I think what she says is, well, it's very nice of you all to be here. Please stay for the next few minutes as I recite a few names that were given in the will, in the last will and testament of Jean-Pierre Philippe. And what we see is, so Polonia brings out this one piece of paper, and then like another piece of paper, and then like a couple little tiny like index cards like on top of it and other ones, and then she like looks at one and looks at the back of it, like puts off to the side, then like finds some extra ones. So it looks like this will was like frantically edited and like addendums after removals after addendums, like it was heavily modified recently. And you can see on Polonia's face how upset she is that she has to do this, with like how complicated this will is, going through everything. And you see, like, she starts with to the Iruvian consulate and writes off how the apartment owned by Jean-Philippe has been escheated to the state to like a certain amount of money, and it's being traded off to pay off some of his debts via like whatever is left over from the debts of selling off the apartment to the Iruvian consulate that was owed. So like the Iruvians kind of like take their cut of coin and head out. And this kind of goes on for a couple other folks there. You see no one of Vale's relatives, but just a few other like odds and ends, like a tailor was owed money for like the suits that he bought and never paid for on loan. You know, that kind of stuff, right? So they kind of get all paid for, and then some people start trickling out after they get satisfied, leaving 5 of you left. So it's going to be Vale, Jewel, Seer are here, and then we see Stasia. So Stasia is not Iruvian, right? Seer?
Sorry, I muted myself.
Mm-hmm.
No, she will be... Let's pick something else. No, let's just make it from Ekaros.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's what I thought. So, Stasia shows up as well as they're reading through the list, and it's like, so it looks like and she so Polonia looks through the list and it's like, okay, so it looks like the four of you were given a quarter share ownership. Oh wait, 1 second. And she like looks at one other index card, right? And it's like, oh, it looks like it's a 20%, a fifth stake. But she only sees four of you guys in the crowd. She's like, is there a casta here? And at that moment, the doors of the church open, and your rival Jewel Casta shows up. Describe how Casta dresses for us.
Typically versus I don't think she changed actually. Like I think she's dressed like she normally would dress and not something special for the funeral because she's just here for business.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
She's wearing
like a suit.
Like basically she's wearing like her captain's jacket for being out on the ink black sea that's long, like down to her knees. She's got tall boots that are up to her knees. Her pants are perfectly pressed. She's wearing a shirt that is like it has just enough ruffles in it that it disguises like her breasts so she doesn't look feminine if you were just like looking at her from her torso. But she also has but her face is very feminine, and she's wearing she has like long brown hair that's braided over one shoulder.
Nice.
And she's wearing like a tricorn hat.
Yeah.
She take off.
Yeah, exactly. She like opens the doors, and awesome. I love that because I was kind of having a similar picture in my mind, in my like own headcanon here. She opens the doors. She's using like an umbrella as sort of like a walking stick after she comes in, and she like looks around, and she kind of like disappointed in sort of like what looks around here, and she just walks up, and she looks over to her right, and she kind of stands next to you, Jewel, and looks at you, and she's like, what? And like sort of like just that similar like just what kind of like what I'm here kind of thing. And she goes into Polonia, who's up on like the podium, and she like takes off her hat and bows, and it's like, yes, Casta present. And Polonia's like, whatever, because she doesn't care about all this. And she says, you guys have a 20% stake in a bar in I guess 6 Towers. This was and there's a note here from Jean-Pierre Philippe, and he wanted me to read this out to you guys. So it says, friends, colleagues, lovers.
I look around at lovers.
Yeah.
Like, wait, who?
And you look at Casta and as well, like
I'm looking at all of them. Like,
yeah.
I didn't know like any of them were banging.
I just kind of squint just very slightly behind my mask.
There's a frown on Jewel's face, but you can't tell what it means.
Okay. You guys have all affected me in such an endearing way. So much that I bequeath to you my pride, the one thing left in this world that I took joy in, and that is my bar. I leave you the name to be decided upon your own. For this is my gift to you for you guys to start new. The original name, the Leaky Bucket, is no longer the name's leased out to ceases upon my death. You have the option to renew it or choose something new. But I hope it serves you guys as well as it served me. and you can see like Polonia's like, yeah, whatever. Like she's read sappy things before. And it sounds like Jean's classic quasi or faux endearing kind of words. Like he's full of hot air and trying to butter people up all the time. And yeah, he neglects to say, as you kind of like start peering over all the documents and stuff of getting this bar, he neglects to mention that the bar needs several repairs. Like the water like half works. Like you see these notes of like things to be repaired and things to be done to it. And it's going to take a lot to get it up and running. It's currently, if we take a quick little like cut to what the front of the bar would look like the windows are like boarded up.
So next session we're gonna be playing Dark Lavender Void's household
renovations. Yeah. So it's going to take a lot to get it going, but it's also sort of like, it's a fixer-upper. It's charming. So there's going to be plenty of time for you guys to set it up and customize it in the way that you guys want, as well as, start handling some of its debts or various personnel who show up. So you guys are given sort of this will of this bar. It's clearly not in good of a shape as maybe you guys remember it, or how you pictured. So there you go. You guys now own a bar.
Brilliant.
Once again, its original name was Leaky Bucket, but obviously that will be changed to whatever we all agree to it, if we want it to be, and we'll go from there.
All right. Does Polonia leave?
Well, Polonia is available for any kind of questions or whatever. She's still putting stuff away.
Okay.
Like she doesn't care what you name it or whatever.
I'm waiting until she's gone, and
okay.
then I got something up my barrel. I don't know if you guys have questions.
Is Casta still standing kind of next to Jewel? Or is she...
Yeah, she's still there. So is Stasia.
I don't know Stasia from a hole in the wall though.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of uncomfortable that your rivals are here and also given an equal stake, right?
Yeah. I guess, I kind of nod to Castia since I already know her. And then I'm going to walk up to the next nearest person, which I think is going to be Vale.
I think so.
Okay.
And just kind of shove my hand in your face. Like one hand is holding a monkey on my shoulder, and the other one just like right in your face, in your personal space. And I'm like, if we're going to be working together, you should know I'm Jewel.
I think I turn to you and you expect to see a face there, and there's just a black mask behind a veil with like very dark eyes behind it. And I'm just kind of like giving you like kind of like this look. And I don't shake your hand. I think what happens is I lift my umbrella and I use the hook of it to pull your hand out of my face.
Oh, shut down.
And then I stand up and I say, Jewel, then. My name is Vale.
Yeah, how do you respond that you got your hand knocked out of the way?
I give her an up nod.
What does Mr. Bubbles do?
Shitters.
Poop better.
Yeah. Ooh, it's cold-blooded.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Casta interjects then at that site and tries to get into your good graces, Vale.
Okay.
Yeah, and Casta says, you have to mind Jewel. She's always kind of putting her nose into things. So, but she obviously doesn't try to shake your hand or anything. Like, she understands your thing, but she's just apologizing on behalf of Jewel and like making it seem like Jewel was out of bounds doing what she was doing.
Yeah, there's definitely like a scowl on Jewel's face, as she walks over to the next person, which I don't know if it'd be Seer or if it'd be Stasia.
I'm fine with either. Let's do Stasia because we haven't actually heard anything about her yet.
Yeah.
So obviously she's Acrovian, I guess, and
Akarosi.
Yeah, Akarosi. Oh yeah, it's got to be Akarosi. So
Okay.
she's Akarosi. She's wearing sort of like your very nice attire. She does not smell. She actually dressed up for this, so she's wearing like a nice black formal wear. It's not nearly as nice as Jules, but she is sort of wearing the nicer clothes. And I guess the big thing about her is that let me make a roll real quick. Let me roll a die of fate here.
Rolls. Yay.
Okay, so evens are good, odds are bad. So okay,
Is that how this works?
yeah. Well, I did a quick steal from Dungeon World or World of Dungeons. Okay, so she has a connection. She looks at you like you may have met before, but maybe not like you look familiar.
Okay.
And I think Stasia looks at you, and do you? I assume you introduced yourself, right?
Yeah, basically the same thing. Hand into personal space.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, she actually like accepts your hand, and she's like, "I'm sorry, Stasia, but I can't help but think that I've seen you somewhere before. Do you?" This is gonna sound really weird, but do you go to the Golden Plum a lot?
I've been there on occasion.
Because I feel like I've seen you there before.
Yeah, and I think Jules smiles at that and says,
That food there is divine. Like, and they start talking about things in the menu.
yeah, I think we'll have a little conversation.
Bonding. Yeah.
Various lizards on various sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, the blue spotted lizard is one thing, but when you put it on the bamboo stick, it's completely different than the metal sword. I'm just saying.
See, I'm more of a gecko on the skewer type. I should really try the bamboo. My boyfriend was trying to get me to do it, but I was like, but it's so it's a little pricey there, so I always kind of just stick with what Yeah. Oh, that's so good. I'm so glad to have met another purveyor of finery. As Stasia kind of eyes make daggers at Seer. It takes a certain cultured person to understand the fineries of Chef Roselle at the Golden Plum. So
I think we can work together.
Yeah. So yeah, Stacey's like, so do any of us? I mean, have any of us ever ran a bar before? And because like Stacey doesn't know.
I'll pipe up from like the back, like glaring at Stasia, but addressing everyone else, but not Stasia. I'm like, well, how hard can it be? We just tell people we pay them, and then we don't.
I think Vale actually laughs at
Yeah,
that.
I think everyone kind of laughs at that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Something out of Jean-Pierre Philippe's playbook. So, is there anything else anybody wanted to say anything at this scene? Because I think we're going to cut to the bar otherwise.
The only thing that I wanted to do was, assuming that if we have ownership of this bar, there's going to be some kind of deed or legal paperwork.
Yeah, you
Vale-
have that.
Okay, I just wanted
Yeah.
to make sure the Vale collected that and didn't
Yeah.
walk
Right.
off.
Well, I will finish up with Jewel after she had introduced herself to Stasia.
Mhm.
And like greet her warmly, like shake her hand, and like rub the monkey on the head. And then,
Does
like,
Mr. Bubbles let him touch?
No, there's no way.
Oh yeah.
You go to touch him and you realize that he has fucking huge ass. Like he goes.
I made a huge mistake.
Like.
All right, so I
Yeah.
hover hand for a little while.
Oh yeah.
If I'm brave enough. But then, I kind of lean close to you, so our cheeks like almost touch, and then in your ear, I'm like, "Can
That's
you?"
obviously the other side that doesn't have a monkey.
Yeah, obviously,
Oh.
not the monkey side. So
Yeah.
there's like buffer because I
Mhm.
don't want to get my face mauled. But like, can you believe Stasia? Don't believe her lies. I know she was the one that fucked Jean-Pierre Philippe just to get into his will. And they killed him too.
I think.
Yeah. Stacey's kind of just sitting there, like twirling her hair, like obviously oblivious to what you said, but yeah.
Yeah. Jewel's eyes widen slightly, but she doesn't say anything.
Don't believe her lies. And
I
then
think
we can go.
okay, cool. So they go. So we go to the corner of Cross and Miller Streets, and I think that's where the leaky bucket is.
Mhm.
And like the leaky bucket sign isn't even like hanging up anymore. It's like it's fell off the chain, and it's like on the ground and kind of near in front of the door, in like a muddy puddle. And we kind of see sort of like an awning that's kind of in tatters a lot. Like maybe like it's been like patched up here and there, but like it's very like extremely poor canvas quality and stuff. It kind of like creaks in the wind, like flapping. It doesn't really do much. The windows once again are kind of like boarded up. And there's a big sign that says under old management. But the door is kind of like the door's been graffitied with kind of like Iruvian tags on the door. It doesn't look like and like you can kind of like whatever spot you can see inside of it, like there's stools that are up and there's kind of like cobwebs and things dressed around. This place has not been open in some time.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think Jules gonna take the initiative and just open up the front door and start looking at make a make a tour of the place. Just
Sure.
basically get a mental list going of what is the bare minimum we would need to open, turn the table, set the tables up and sweep, and maybe get some lights in here, and I guess alcohol, and
Oh yeah.
is that a huge gaping hole in the back wall? Make sure there's no vagrants sleeping.
I know there's no hobos in the basement.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm glad. Well, there certainly are a few vagrants sleeping, drugged out people using the basement as a den. So what do you do when you turn on the lights and you go down there and you see two drugged out? They're probably drugged on. Seer, you would know. So as the resident and maybe you might disagree with what Stavia thinks what they are, but they're on some kind of drug, and I'm gonna leave it to you to decide what kind of drug it is.
Sure.
So you can make something up. What kind of these druggies? What are they on? And what does it look like? There's two of them. Imagine a man and a woman.
All right. So they're almost limp on the floor, Like they didn't just sit down, like they fell down and then just never bothered moving afterwards.
Ooh, yeah.
They're looking at us, but not like reacting otherwise immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a God, where was the one? I had one. It's dream smoke, right?
Oh, okay.
So like they're looking at us, but you see like their eyes are all like cloudy.
Oh,
Like
yeah. So their eyes look like smoky.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Like
cool.
they don't have, like they lose their pupils, and it's just like it's like this haze.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, yeah. So you just see like them like holding hands like in the corner, like never just like not even in the corner,
And
just like
it's
flat on the
more like
ground.
their
Yeah.
hands kind of fell on top of each
Yeah,
other.
yeah, exactly, and they're just tripping out right now, in their own headspace.
Yep. And they like, I know like they kind of know what's going on, but they have just like a really hard time distinguishing it
Yeah.
from like their trip, and like even if they knew, then their body is still like super out
So
for now.
So Casta, if you guys don't do anything, I think Casta's gonna like just like brutally like try to wake them up. Like she's gonna
No,
we don't have time
I'm
for.
helping her.
Okay.
I'm gonna beat these junkies out of here.
Like they're gonna like rough them up and like kick them out, right?
Yep. I'm
That
helping
seems
her.
suitable. Like
Okay.
that's an appropriate response to this.
Okay, sure. So I mean, I don't think there's any roll necessary. It's basically an effect of a gang against these two people who are drugged out, right? So we just see them like get thrown out into the mud, and through the front. As you guys continue to look around, you see how they got in to the place. In the basement, there is a not even concealed door that leads into the sewers from down here. Obviously, like you can tell, it kind of goes into like an underground like steam part, and then like, you can kind of see like there's another level below the steam part where like the sewers would be. So imagine the Duskvol sewers and canals are extremely deep, like maybe like 30 feet high, and there's sort of like a walkway, and then below that is like the sewer stuff down below.
All right. I'll ask if anyone wants to come with.
I would make sure that we've like finished the sweep of the rest of the building first.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going now,
Okay.
so you can do the rest then.
Well, I was going to tell you that, like, just in general, it's going to cost you guys all about 5 coin to get this working at a minimum. Okay.
Jeez.
So you're going to have to do some kind of job to get the coin you needed to kind of open this place.
Okay.
Okay. But, okay, so do you want to go explore the sewers? Is that really what you want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
totally. Like, is there a reason why I shouldn't, other than like,
No.
it's sewers and they're gross? Like,
No, not
is
at
there
all.
like a known
Only-
reason why you don't fuck with the sewers?
Well, it's the sewers. There's a good chance of getting sick down here. You know,
That's my
and
friend with a doctor.
who knows what you... the sewers are home, you know, to kind of... Well, you know that they're used by unsavory folk. You know that there's hungry rats in sewers, obviously. There's...
Clear rats out of sewers. That's like basic.
Yeah, right. Classic D&D, right? There's no goblins or kobolds or Skaven if you're thinking there's Skaven, but there's certainly a no, like there's a risk of ghosts in sewers,
Sure.
especially during the day, and as it is now in Duskfall.
All right. Well, I still want to go. Yeah.
Vale is not going to be going, but you two have fun.
Okay, cool. Because what I'm gonna do then, what is your goal to just explore and like kind of map the sewers below? Like what are you trying to do when you explore the sewers?
Yeah, I want to map more than anything. Like, I want to know where I can get to with this like back entrance, right? Like,
Like, how can we use this door to our advantage so that instead of it being like a, oh shit, people walk in here, it's a, we've got something we can use.
Yeah.
So you want to kind of see where it's at, like where the closest exits are.
Mm-hmm.
That's your
Kinda,
goal.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, how about we do this to do a mission?
All right.
So this is kind of like Blades Against Darkness, but fuck it, let's do it. So let's choose a plan and let's choose a loadout then. Whoever's going. So I think Casta and Stasia. I don't think Stasia is gonna go. I think Stasia is gonna stay with Vale, but Casta would certainly want to go. Maybe for her own ideas for smuggling. Yeah. Casta's rationale. I think after we see we kind of see Seer start heading down into the sewers because he's excited.
Mm-hmm.
Casta's like she looks to Vale. How about this? She looks to Vale, and Casta says truce. Like, we'll talk about our issues. Let's put things aside real quick as we go down here.
She nods. Like,
can you trust Casta? Is Casta someone of her word, even though like you guys are rivals?
I think she is. She
Okay.
hasn't done anything that specifically like where she's broken her word.
Yeah.
She's fucked up, and she's not a nice person, and we've gotten under each other's skin more than one time.
Sure.
But she's never done anything where she's like literally betrayed me.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, yet. So.
Okay. Cool. That's what I thought. It's kind of like it sucks that you guys had like a feud over over Ashlyn who got away, but you guys can work together if needed to. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So then let's do this as a mission. To basically find the closest exits out of the sewers that are not yours. Okay. So what I'm going to need to know is, what is your plan for mapping this stuff out? You have 6 different strategies here. You have the assault plan, the deception plan, the stealth plan, the occult plan, the social plan, and the transport plan. A lot of those don't really make sense for this.
I feel like this is a stealth plan. We're trying to get this knowledge without being found out. That's my opinion.
You're trying to do this through okay. Yeah, so you're just trying to just sort of infiltrate the sewers and do it in a way that if you find anything, you're kind of like sneaking around stuff. Mm-hmm. You're kind of just reconnoitering this place.
Right, yeah. We're not like... Yeah. And I think...
That's right.
Okay, cool. What I'm going to do... I'm going to set up an engagement roll, and then what I'm going to need is a teamwork action of probably prowl or whatever you tell me to go from there. So your method of stealth would be this entry point through the basement, and you're going to kind of just be kind of looking around for where the closest exit is and where it comes out, right? Like, that's going to be the quick plan. So I'm going to do a quick engagement roll. This is going to be a normal engagement, so I think it's going to be 2d6. Is there anything we want to do that can influence this in any way? Paul, should I go over how to do this?
Maybe a little bit, sure.
Okay, so what's going on is the engagement roll kind of gives you an idea of where you're at right now in your plan. So, like, basically, if things are going your way or not at the start of what's going on. Okay? So that's kind of like the idea of it, and then it's just going to be a, depending on what you guys want and how you're doing it, a type of group action to roll here. So this is just going to be like an average roll because the sewers could be pretty spooky, and there's nothing lined up. Do you guys have light of any kind? Because it's pretty dark in here. It's pretty dark as hell. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I've got a like a bullseye lantern.
Cool.
That's part of my thieves' tools. I decided.
Okay, cool.
Burglary tools includes a bullseye lantern. I just declared that. I think actually I want to roll hunt. Jewel wants to basically. This is where these these vagrants came in. She wants to follow their footsteps back and find where they came from.
Oh, and track where they came out. Oh, that's a really good idea. I would give you a die to that, for sure. So now your engagement roll is 3d6.
Sweet.
Because these guys are, I mean, they're junkies. Like, there's a trail of drugs and stuff around you could probably follow.
They just dropping their drugs left and
Yeah,
right.
and footsteps.
All right. So, what am I doing here mechanically?
So mechanically, we're trying to set up an engagement roll that's as favorable for you as you want.
Sure.
you
But
make it more
what can I do to influence it?
So things you can do to alter the engagement roll is by leveraging vulnerability of this place. So you're in a sewers, and it's dark, and it's potentially dangerous. You don't know kind of what's around. You know that the junkies used it to get into this den to do their drugs. But what you don't know is kind of where they came from. You don't know what's standing in your way. It could be trapped or something like that. If there's anything you could do to give you like better vision or like improve your hearing or senses or anything like that, you could do that would give you a better engagement. That sort of thing.
No,
But if you can't think of anything, that's fine. Okay, cool. So the detail is that you went through the sewers this way, and you're going to be leveraging the fact that where the junkies went. Fortunately, the junkies are only kind of like on this canal area. They're not in like the lower level sewers or anything like that. So let's just do I'll do a 3d6 roll, unless there's anything else anybody wanted to add.
I'm alright with that.
Cool. Okay, got a 6. So yeah, things are perfect then. So there's no problem. It seems to be kind of really still and quiet. You hear the sound, except for the sounds of the rushing sewer stuff below. It smells really bad down here. It smells super dank and moldy. Just have to watch your steps because there's like needles and stuff around.
Yeah,
rats
Mr. Bubbles
skewer,
is like taking off his hat and he's like using it like to breathe into it.
Oh yeah, to cover the that's awesome.
Yeah.
And mostly just the smell is pretty bad. When you turn on your bullseye lantern and like see down like the path, there's certainly going to be like some rats like skittering around.
As you do.
Yeah.
All right, so we're following their.
So you're going to give me a team action here.
Okay.
Do you want to lead the team? I guess this is your guys' option to do. So to find, there's certainly another way out of here that's close. And you said you wanted to hunt your way through. So you guys are in a pretty dominant position. Standard effect. The consequences would be. I like the idea that this place is not as sturdy as it is, and the what do you call it? The canal, not the canal. The overhang thing that you're walking on will break.
Okay.
Or kind of snap, and making it more precarious. It won't outright break and like you go tumbling below, but like it's gonna it's not as a strong foundation as you think, so it could slip somewhere.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm alright leading. It would make sense for either me or for Seer to be leading, because Seer was kind of the one that was like, okay, we're going down there, we're doing this, but at the same time, Jewel kind of took point with the lantern and is like, I'm going to figure out I'm going to find where they came from.
I'll let you go first because you have the lamp.
Okay.
And I won't really see super well.
The roll.
So I'll cover you and I'll have because I have it on my sheet. I have a pistol, right? I can just have one.
Okay. So you're gonna try to help them by covering. Is that what you're gonna do? Mechanically, that means you take 1 stress, but you give Kelsa a die.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So then really, all you have to do is basically doing a group action. You're gonna have to roll for this anyways to help. But basically, this helps determine how much stress Kelsa is gonna get by doing this.
So yeah, it's if you want to cover me, you can take a stress and I get an extra die. Or if you're helping to look, like keeping your eyes out for clues and stuff, then you can roll your hunt as well. And then we take the better of all of our dice that we roll.
Well,
And if you roll poorly, I might take stress.
I'm shit at hunt, so I'll cover your ass and watch from
Okay.
what we passed.
All right, then you take
I'll
one
take a
stress.
stress.
Okay. So also, yeah. Okay. So I assume you're gonna help, yeah, through kind of Overwatch, kind of. All right. So then you get an extra die, Kelsa, on your hunt.
All right. Bam.
Ooh. Nice.
I got
6.
six.
Perfect. Oh yeah. So
Wow, these are really fancy. They
yeah,
must have
they
just
really
I
updated
was
these
just
new
about to
sheets.
say it's all fancy.
Yeah.
Like, there was a bunch
Um,
of drop-down boxes. Like, this must have just changed.
Yeah. So there's nothing. So it's really quiet. You see that about 100 yards down, there's a sort of like an extra little access side that goes back kind of like into the city instead of over the canal and over the water and the sewers way below. Instead, it kind of like leads up into a what do you call it? One of those like a manhole cover like in the middle of the street. Yeah, so unless you like, do you want to open the manhole cover? Just gonna get you where this exits out.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, cool. So you're still in the 6 towers section, but this comes up about 6 blocks north of your bar.
Cool.
And this is it's called Tucker's Alley. Is the name that they exit from here. And now you guys all smell like... Actually, no, you don't. I guess you guys are fine. That would be kind of a consequence. I don't want to give you a consequence. But it certainly smells. You guys were just in the sewers for like 10 minutes. So it probably feels great to have a sense of fresh air again.
Is there anything?
If you call Duskvol's air fresh. I don't know.
Right. I
Right.
mean,
Is there anything like special, noteworthy thing in Tucker's Alley that I know? If I don't know, could I look around for something? Like if it's just like houses, I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah. So Tucker's Alley is a pretty shitty spot of 6 towers. Looking around, it's one of those like really narrow alleys that are just like lined with like papers and stuff, like advertising various things, like posters and stuff of like, you know, drink new beer, missing persons, that kind of stuff, like all around. So like there's like graffiti over some of them, and then there's like new ones stapled on it, and it's all like wet and damp, so like it kind of gets all stuck together and mushed. So it's like this big giant like collage of just like under seedy Duskvol culture, like burlesque shows, you know, that kind of stuff, right? But like no one's around because it's daytime, so like there's probably like just a couple like bums sleeping around and stuff like that, like in the alley, like in like puddles, but
yeah, I think Jewel wants to intimidate one of those bums and like point to the grate and like basically get like an informant to be like don't go down there.
oh, okay. You're gonna tell him to like warn others not to go down there.
Yeah, like
So you're gonna command him to like tell other people to not.
yep, that's the plan. I am shit at it, but this is an idea.
Well, the problem with that is that this is probably standard risky because he's a drunk and he probably just won't remember.
Yeah, I'm alright with that.
The consequences would just be you probably just fail to do this, unfortunately. Like you won't, you know, you can resist. He's not going to remember, and he will just agree with you, and then the result would be that you're unsure if he's actually going to do it or not.
Okay. Yeah. I'm okay with that. But basically,
Yeah. You're basically rolling for his reliability right now, in a way.
Can I
let's
help
roll-
you with this?
roll for reliability. Yeah.
So, I have one in command. So should I just roll it myself? Or should I
Oh,
take
do you want to help her?
Yeah.
You want to take another stress and give her a die?
Yeah.
How are
like,
you helping her?
We're tag teaming.
By just kind of intimidating?
Because like Jewel
I
just,
mean,
like,
I have
walks
my
up.
pistol.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I feel
Like
Jesus.
Jewel like walks up to this guy who's kind of sitting there like coked out in the corner and is like we didn't come through here, and no one goes down there.
Oh shit. Okay.
And
He like looks, he looks his head out of like the muck that he's sleeping in and like raises an eye, and then like sees a gun pointed to him, and he's like, I'm sorry, you know.
right.
All
right, I get 1 die on this with Seer's help. Not bad.
Yeah. Oh man, you know what it is? He has he's wearing a Scovlin army uniform, like just shitty, like he's like a veteran from the from the Scovlin War that he's just like drunk in the sewer or whatever. So he's like, God's honor, like that's fine. Like, yeah, of course, like I don't and it seems like he's reliable. Yeah, he's and he's got a gun to his face, and so he goes, yeah, of course, yeah, no problem.
Right.
And you guys let it go. Cast a.
I'll tuck my gun away. I'm like, what's your name?
His name is starts with a B. I'm gonna go with I really need to have the name sheet somewhere that's not on Roll20. Let's see. Let's make this larger. Oh, that disappeared. His name is going to be. Ooh, I like Claremont. Claremont's a great name. Sergeant Claremont. And you see he's like wearing he's wearing a Pathfinder's outfit, like he was like a scout. So he's kind of like wearing. He look like his clothes are pretty durable, but just like extremely worn through.
All right. I'm like, all right. Listen, Claremont. If you make sure no one comes in here, maybe we can make it worth your while.
What are you trying to do here?
I'm trying to set him up as a guard, even though he's a bum. Like, if he just tells other bums, like, hey, don't go in there when they want to go in the sewers for some reason. I wanna promise him things, and so he does what.
And then never give them to him.
And then maybe never give them to him.
He's gonna want like he put his gun away. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like you're offering him a job, so he's gonna expect some coin out of it, but you don't have any to give.
Yeah. No.
So you're going to try to, I guess, consort him. Like, you're gonna try to talk him into like doing this for like the nebulous
for
promise
the
of
promise
pay.
of some sort of payment. Yes.
Okay.
That is never explicit. What
Sure.
it actually is. Wait,
Okay.
is that consort?
No, that would be sway because you're trying
Is
to
that sway?
deceive. You're trying to deceive this guy.
Oh God! All right.
But I mean, it's up to you, right? It's like you get to describe whether or not it's consort or sway and why, and it's up to us as a group to be like, that's bullshit, or be like, okay, that's fine.
I mean, I just want him to do it. I do kind of want to pay him, but I literally don't have anything right now to pay him with, except like giving him like Tinker's gear.
Do you tell him that?
That.
Are you
I
honest with
don't
him?
tell him that, but.
Okay.
And maybe he's not really in a position to be able to read people all that well. Maybe Jewel will be like he's blowing hot air out of his ass right now.
Sure.
But
Okay.
yeah.
So you're swaying this guy. Okay.
I'm trying to just make him do me a favor before he really owes me anything for whatever reason.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So you owe him a favor.
Sure that Jean-Pierre was not your mentor. Taking a page out of his book.
I know, right? Yeah, just for not being Jean-Pierre. Okay.
All right.
So, yeah.
What would be my position apparently? I have to
Yeah, it's going to be risky. The problems would be that he expects pay. and he's not going to do it unless you give him coin, right? Like money up front, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. Well,
he's going to demand.
If there's
payment.
nothing extra, no. 3.
Oh yeah, he just like. He's like, yeah, he sees through your
Sure.
buster, right?
Yeah, maybe I overestimated how drunk he was.
Yeah. No, it's not just he's over drunk. He's like drunk, but he's like, man, it's like, you take me for a fool. I may be a drunk, but I'm not an idiot. I'm through working for people who don't pay, as like, he was a soldier. And he's like, money first, or sod off, as he like kind of just like whatever, and like kind of starts like getting himself ready to go back to sleep.
Yeah, and I step in a puddle in a way that it like kind
if
of
you had
splashes towards him.
If you had something that could alter it besides coin, like if you had something like booze, you could have offered or something like that. You could have done something.
No.
Yeah, if you didn't have anything to offer him,
I should have had some or saw if there
You
was
could.
any left in the bar.
So here's something you could do.
I guess we can flashback to that. And
Yes, you could if you wanted to.
Yes. All right. So, I want to flashback to where I totally had some booze the whole time.
So you take some. You want to flashback to say that you grab some beer from some old beer from the bar.
Yeah, like we
or you
went
found
through the
some.
place.
Yeah.
Old
Okay.
beer.
Sure. Yeah. Totally. You grab some.
All right.
That's only going to cost. I think it's going to cost you 1 stress though.
All right.
Sure. Do you go for what kind? Do you? So I'm going to give you the option here. You have a couple things you could grab. Do you grab something that's labeled or unlabeled? First off.
Let's grab something labeled.
Okay. So you grab something nice or something with a label. Okay. Okay. So you grab something labeled.
Because I have literally no idea what went on in the last 3 years there. So and
Sure.
and I deal in illicit substances.
Yeah. So you grab a bottle of scotch or something that's mostly drunk. There's hardly any left in it. Sure. So yeah, you have that now. So the guy sods off and he tells you to sod off and starts going back to sleep.
Like,
But
well,
now
I guess we'll have to drink this all by ourselves, and Jewel. And
he looks over and he sees that there's that's there, and I think when you say that and he just kind of shifts his weight and moves and he kicks the bottle near him and he realizes it's empty and then looks at you and he's like,
"Oh, I'm so thirsty."
Yeah. And he's like, give me that. You got yourself a guard dog.
Alright.
Yeah.
Of course, gonna give it to him.
And Jewel pats him on the head condescendingly as we leave.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So now you have a begrudging hobo scout for the meantime.
Yes.
See, that's how you just turn a failed sway into a success. Okay. So you have so now
even the slide.
I know, right? Okay, cool. I'm just making a note of this guy. All right. Do you want to cut back to the bar? You guys are probably going back anyways. So what has Vale been getting into?
I think what's happened. Who's with her again?
Oh, Stasia's with you.
Stasia. Okay.
So you're probably the two most well-dressed people of the group.
Yeah.
Together.
we're not going into the sewer. What?
Yeah.
We probably.
That's exactly what it was. You're wearing this? Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We probably took a look around. We're super not impressed because it's, gross. We've probably cleared off and cleaned up a part of the bar, just one corner of it, so we could sit down.
Oh yeah.
And we're probably chatting. She probably we found a Bunsen burner and an old teapot that's has a crack through the top.
You guys are making tea.
Yeah, we're sitting there drinking tea when they
Oh my god. Yes, awesome. And yeah, I think you guys would be talking about possible plans for this place. And
Yeah, totally.
Stasia's like, man, there's so much potential here. And she's like, obviously, you're a woman of wealth and taste. Hear me out on this. Let's make, let's get rid of, like, and she's like, maybe like when she drinks it, she's like, what if we made this a fancy tea place?
Do you really think this is the location for a tea house?
That's what I'm saying. If we're one of the first people here, we make a tea house. We attract richer people to come here. And it sort of like picks up the neighborhood, and all of a sudden we can start, like bringing in new clientele here. And I think this is when Stasia brings up the other point. She's like, well, hear me out on this. We need to attract a nicer clientele because perhaps maybe we're not just selling them tea. Perhaps we are selling them other services.
Darling, you read my mind exactly.
Perhaps we could offer company. Companionship.
I think at this point, I've taken my mask off because we're drinking.
Oh,
tea.
yeah, of course.
And like this is like the first time the audience has gotten to see Vale's face, and so I just want to do a quick description. Like she looks like she might be kind of Arabic.
Ooh.
So she's like kind of like medium toned complexion, dark eyes, very dark hair, and a third of her head is shaved.
Ooh.
And so she's sitting there with her buttoned up to like the chin dress, and she's like, well, she laughs first. And she's like, you have no idea who you're talking to. And then she just like, she thinks for a minute, and then she shakes her head because she doesn't want to reveal too much. And she says, that is exactly what I was thinking. Companionship, perhaps some medication.
She's like brilliant, and like she like clinks your teacup or something like that. Yeah,
Yes.
right. And then you guys start giggling, sipping your tea, and that's when everyone shows back in. Smelling, like you probably smell them. You smell them before you see them come back in because they smell like the sewers. And yeah, in comes Casta, Jewel, and Seer.
Find
I'm
anything?
brushing off my suit because it's the only one I have.
Yeah.
You see them drinking tea, like they have tea set up, like in a
Yeah.
broken kettle.
I think that Jules sees this and she just like storm clouds her, like her whole face gets not exactly like angry, but like just before angry, like, you know, and she's already like taken off the leash that Mr. Bubbles had been wearing, so it's not like connected to him anyway. And she kind of puts out her arm, and he goes and he jumps onto the bar, and she comes over to where Stasia and Vale are having their tea party, and says, glad you've managed to clean up around here. Like at like there's like this much of the bar is cleaned off.
Oh yeah,
you know?
exactly. Where
like,
and everything's clean, so they can just make the tea like in this little tiny like oasis of cleanliness in this otherwise like disaster zone, right?
Yeah, like
yeah.
She's just dripping with like sarcasm and venom in her voice as she looks between the two of them.
Oh my, you sound so angry. Stasia, you should get her a cup of tea.
Yeah, I was like, it's no doubt due to the stench. Here, have some tea. And it's chamomile, I guess. She hands you a cup and what do you call it? Chaucer. I don't know.
Saucer?
Saucer, thank you. Chaucer's a poet. God.
You're good
It's
at
awesome.
words, Eric.
I know. Words, man. The little bane of my existence. Okay. Oh yeah, she hands you a cup of chamomile tea, like offers it to you.
We were discussing renovation plans.
Yeah.
You decided already.
Cesia looks around. It's like it looks to be that to get this up and running will be about 5 coin, but we may have some ideas about further renovations.
Yeah, Jewel just frowns and like drinks all of the tea in the cup like a shot.
It's probably too hot, and so it burns the whole way down.
She doesn't even care. Like, I mean, that's how it would feel if it was whiskey, right? Slightly different type of burn, but yeah. Yeah, she just kind of nods at the price and just doesn't say, like, just kind of broods a little bit.
Damn. Okay. Was there anything else we wanted to do? Because otherwise we can get ready to go to our break. Because it's been a little bit over an hour.
Break while I am being really salty about not being offered a cup of tea.
Oh yeah, you're not offered a cup of tea.
God damn.
You can commiserate with
Dude, I knew I shouldn't have left her alone with Vale. Now she got her venomous fangs in her.
Yeah, you know what it is? I know what I think it
commiserate
is.
with Costa.
Oh, yeah, I think what Stasia says, like, oh, I'm sorry, Seer, it looks like we only had 3 cups of tea, so I hope you didn't mind not having one. So, I think at that point, we're gonna go to our break. So, we'll be back in 5 minutes.